Hey guys, Jeff Joyner here. And today I'm going to tell you the story about the time that I won the sixth grade reading contest. Kinda. I kinda won. You be the judge. Before I get into the story, hey, make sure if you're not subscribed to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification button so that you can be notified when I come out with new videos. I would appreciate it. So here's the story. When I was in sixth grade, our teacher, Mrs. Will was her name, decided to have a contest. She wanted to encourage reading, people reading in your spare time. That's a noble goal. And so what she did is across the back wall of the classroom, she spent all during Christmas break and had cut out little construction paper figurines of like little deep sea divers, right? That were, kind of before scuba, or at least these little deep sea divers were. and she had them all across, one for each student in the class. They had our name on it, and they looked just like this. Cute little deep sea divers. And I forgot what the theme was. It was like, diving deep into reading or something. It said across the top. And so the challenge was, right, everyone read some books, and for every 50 pages that you read in a book, your diver is going to go up a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. And at the end of a month or 2 months or whatever, whoever had read the most pages wins the contest. And I think you got like, some free rock candy or something. It wasn't a prize for me as much as like, I want to win the contest. And so it just so happens, this contest started right when we got back, from winter break. Well, for Christmas that year, my mom had gotten me and my brothers all some cool little stocking stuffers. They were like these little books, right? Lassie and Old One-Eye, the Fantastic Four, and the House of Horrors, Spider-Man, Zap's Mr. Zodiac. Some of them were version illustrated classics editions, like Robin Hood, or I know one of them was the story of Moby Dick, and books like that. And so, but there were these little, and so I get home, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to read some of these books. I'm going to read Lassie, Old One-Eye. And so, obviously this is a small book. I don't know if you guys can see this, but they're tiny little pages, right? And on each tiny little page, there's only 30 or 40 words. And then there's a picture. And so on one page is some words. On the next page is a picture. Every other page is a picture. It only takes like 30 minutes to read this book, but I'd get done and I'd be like, wow, let me see, how much was that? Oh, Lassie, that was 249 pages. And so I take off to an early lead because I read, 248 pages, 232 pages. I started reading these little books, and I started turning in to the teacher, hey, I read 2,000 pages over the weekend. Wow! And so my little deep sea diver starts going way up ahead of everybody. We had all these books. Yet a bunch of these were like class, The Count of Monte Cristo and The Man in the Iron Mask and all these different. And my teacher would, you turn in what books you read, and she'd be like, "Did you really read Moby Dick?" And I'm like, "I sure did." She's like, "Tell me about it." And I would tell her the plot line and the story. She's like, "Wow, you read The Count of Monte Cristo?" "Oh yeah, it was about a man who was in prison." And so within my diver went so high up, it hit the ceiling, and then she started like doing it across the ceiling tiles. And so everybody else just quit reading, right? Because there's no way they're going to win. They had no chance. I had such a big lead. I think they might have even stopped the contest early. And I won the fifth grade contest. And now, you might say that I cheated. I would say, no, I didn't. These are books. I did read those pages, right? The problem isn't that I cheated. The problem is that what they were measuring was too vague. And it is... it's proof, I think, that statistics can be manipulated. Ever since that experience in sixth grade, I've never really trusted statistics ever since then, right? Because they can be used to tell a story, and that story doesn't always mesh with reality, right? And the people who were comparing themselves, people who were reading like legitimate big books with small print, and were comparing themselves to me, they were making a mistake by doing that, frankly. And so my advice to people is to just be cautious about, right, the narrative, about statistics. I think it was Mark Twain who said there's three types of lies, right? There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. And they can be manipulated and used to tell any story. That's going on a lot in the world today, as you probably know. Right, during the pandemic, there's probably been more twisting and manipulating of statistics to meet one agenda or narrative or another. It's chronic. And so make sure you're comparing apples to apples, right? Be a little bit skeptical. But also, man, don't, the comparison game of comparing yourself, that to me, the saddest part of the story, isn't that I didn't really learn all that much from reading all these books. That part's a little sad. The part that's really sad is the people who gave up because they were comparing themselves to me, and they were missing the whole point, right, of the reading challenge. And I think the comparison game can be really, really deadly. And this is, back in the 1970s, right? This is long before social media. But in today's world, it's so easy to compare yourself to somebody else. And it's dangerous, right? 'Cause especially on social media, that people post their highlights and you're comparing their highlight reel to your blooper reel. And it's real easy to start feeling inferior. And so when I hear stories of other people that really seem to be outperforming in whatever area, I've learned that, some of those, their life isn't as great as it looks, and my life isn't as bad as it sometimes feels, right? And really the only person that I'm in competition with is myself, right? Being a better version tomorrow of the person I am today. That's the only person I'm in competition with anymore. I'm not trying to trick people into thinking that I've accomplished things that I haven't. I'm just trying to improve myself every day. Years later, I finally got into a mode that I was reading for personal growth, that I was reading to learn, that I was reading to experience the world in ways that I don't think you really can without reading. And so I did win the 6th grade reading contest. Don't congratulate me too hard because it's a little bit of a sketchy win. I'll still take it. And I will say, that my love for reading, especially reading like Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, reading these little books got me into reading comic books later on when I was in high school and college. And that kind of became a big part of my life later on. And, you may have seen the video about the time that I met Stan Lee, which is a pretty cool thing. But my love for Marvel Comics and those heroes started with these two little books, Spider-Man Zaps Mr. Zodiac, and Fantastic Four in the House of Horrors. I wonder if these are worth any money. I've read them several times. They're pretty beat up, so probably not. Hey, make it a great one. We'll catch you next time.